Hey guys, really quick before this video starts, I wanted to take a moment and somewhat apologize for the quality of the videos here recently. The one that Heather and I did, and this one with the monster truck video. The color, this is a new camera. I've had it for a little while, but it's fairly new. And I watch people that use a camera like this. It's a Canon G7X Mark II. They have awesome videos in the quality, and I've struggled to get this thing to work right. So just bear with me. I am like, my phone does a way better job, but I would rather try to incorporate this camera that I purchased to do my videos, or for the most part at least. But it's just hard to get a handle on the quality. So guys, just bear with me on this, and it's gonna get better, I promise. Okay? Alright, now to the video. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Going to unbox this Dodge Rammunition monster truck here. So a little history. I'm a huge monster truck fan. Been one ever since I was a child. Since Bigfoot #1, really. As early as I can remember, I loved monster trucks. My dad had a mud bogging truck, and we would go to mud bogs and stuff as a kid, and then monster trucks began to come on the scene in the early 80s. Oh man, I could tell you in the insides and outs of a monster truck. I could tell you all about the Hall brothers who own the Rammunition truck and the Ramminator truck. But I want to open this kit. I got this kit at Acme, the Atlanta model show that I went to recently. Showed it on my haul, but it's a 1/24 Lindberg kit, and this is the second one that I've got. I may possibly build this kit, so I want to open it up and check out the contents and the quality, because I don't know anything about this kit. Tim Brown from Throttle Power did mention that he built it, and he said it's a little finicky, but it does turn out to be a nice model. So what we'll do is something that I don't usually do, but I'm going to cut the plastic on this thing. It's a cool box too, has a lot of cool art. So it looks like possibly all the parts are black. It doesn't look like there's a lot of chrome in it. So let me one-handedly try to cut this open without cutting myself. My arm's in a sling, so you can imagine that my reach is not that great. Anyway, get this plastic off here. Exciting for me to open a model kit, because I don't do it that often. Usually the ones I build, they're probably already opened, or someone else has got the fun of taking the plastic off. This is like a flip box. So let's flip it open and see what's inside. Oh boy. Big, huge sheet of decals. I gotta check those out, because if I build it, I'm definitely going to try and use them. I didn't recall what year this kit was produced. Wasn't too long ago. I've had one now for several years, but let's see if I can see a date. No date. 2007. Okay, there we go. 2007 is the date of it. And what I was doing, I was opening up these decals. I want to check out the cool decal sheet we've got here. Oh yes, look at there. Those look like they would be fun to put on. But like I say, if I do decide to build it, it's definitely going to get the decals. So maybe they will will be good to put on. Dishman, and it says, I don't have my glasses on, I'm trying to see what that says. Oh, Jeremy Dishman, I'm sorry, it's just spelled a little different. That's the driver of the Rammunition. I think he may be kind of their main driver now, because Mark Hall, he's not doing as much driving anymore. Here's this, just from seeing that they have an actual sheet, just a sheet all alone for decal placement, that makes you think that it's going to be a really nice build. yeah, check it out. Nice. So far, at least. Wow. Look at that body. So, Dodge Ram. I'm assuming somewhere around a 2007 or so model Dodge Ram. And this is a one-piece body. Wouldn't be as a real monster truck or fiberglass, and they would be pieces. You know, your body's usually even pieced in the, well, sometimes the body's whole, but it just depends on the particular whoever manufactures the fiberglass. It's cool that it's got the pins or the bolts that hold the fiberglass pieces and panels. So they did incorporate that into it, which is really cool, because try to add some of that realism. Really long. Look at those wheel wells, how big they are. Got to be big though. There's big. Okay, I'll wait on the tires. Okay, so everything's not black, but there, I don't see a chrome tree. So my theory on the chrome is right, but instead of everything being black, everything is white. So here are your inner wheels and outer wheels, and it has planetaries also, so which is again adds to the realism, because monster trucks do have planetaries. They run a planetary drive system, which is a gear reduction system to prevent from breaking so many axles. You don't see so many axles broken because they run a planetary drive system. But yeah, look at those nice wheels, and they have these wheel supports all around them, and then you have your outside, or maybe kind of like a beadlock right there. Cool. And the majority of this is going to be ow, that's my finger, Matthew. The majority of this is going to be roll cage, and I won't unpackage all of that unless I see something really interesting. Here's your side portions of the roll cage. You see the shape of the body here. Here's some shocks. I might as well take them out of the box or the bag. So you have your shocks, your nitrogen shock systems right here, which are really detailed. It's going to take a lot of painting, but that's okay. But these shocks, they have the bypass ports and all those things, which is really cool. It's not just a simple shock. And if you can see that, you have your accumulators here on the side, which, if you don't know anything about monster truck shocks, really I don't really even need to explain it, but these are highly detailed. This is very nice. Very cool. Your accumulators, your bypass, your upper and lower bypass. Anyway, okay, there we go. I'll get carried away. And there's the other wheel backs for the inners, and the under part of the chassis, or the cradle, is here, and the 4-link bars are made to the chassis portion. These would be a free-flowing what hooks to your axle. In reality, it would be free moving, but in this, which is nice, they already have them molded in and fixed, so that seems like it would make it a little easier to fit the axles and get them on straight. Very nice. Alright, here's the no, not all of it. Here's part of the engine. The Hall brothers they've always run Hemis. Well, they have not always run Hemis. When the Hall brother race team started, they started with the Big Boss. Kyosho sponsored them back in the 80s, and it was the Big Boss. It was a Ford truck, and they've come a long way. They had the Executioner. Ran it for a while. It was a black and white truck back in the 90s. Then they went to Dodge and began to have the Rammunition and the Rammunition. Alright, so it's got a seat, which is not very realistic. This seat in 2000, well, maybe in 2007 they still would have been running a seat like this. It may be pretty close to it. Here's your battery. Here it run a high voltage battery system of 24. I think they run 24 volts for the batteries. some other parts that I'm not really sure what they are. This looks like the steering orbital valve right here, and again some just plates or covers. I am not sure what this is for yet. Here is some of the, okay, wow, what a very, very detailed supercharger belt, blower belt right here. It's got it does have these little parts you gotta cut off, but as far as the teeth on the belt, it doesn't look like the pulleys are very realistically sized, because the blower belt and the crank belt, or pulley rather, the crank and blower pulley are going to probably be a little bigger than that, but that's okay. So you've got some sort of fire bottle here. This is the blower hat right here. This is the bottom of it. This is the top of the blower, the injection hat, where the 3 butterflies would be, and this is a big K&N breather on the end of it. Here is the Linko transmission that they used to run. They don't do that anymore. They're running an automatic now, but they used to run a Linko transmission, and I think this is what this is, covered in a blanket, because it's a scatter blanket. So if they had any, if the transmission ever came apart, they would have no chance of parts flying into the crowd and hurting anybody. Here's the front mounting plate for the engine. You can see behind it is the timing chain cover, and this would have been a big, huge aluminum plate that the engine bolts to the frame. Fuel cell. It's like the grill. That could be the water pump. I'm not sure how they have the water pump set up on this truck. Oil pan. Cool steering wheel. Looks like one of those GT steering wheels. Very detailed electric fan. Fire extinguisher, and another, looks like fire bottle possibly. Gauge instrument panel, very detailed. This is looks nice. Looks like it would be a time-consuming model, because quite a bit of the more parts, the more painting. The more painting, the more time it's going to take to build that model kit. And just for a quick reference, when you take parts out of a bag, don't just throw them immediately in the trash. You see this little part right here? That may be just a piece of the sprue, but it could be a part. So don't just chunk your bags. Always make sure that they're totally empty. Alright, so a very interesting way to put an engine together. Here's the side of the block. This will be the cylinder head, would go here. Here's your oil pan. Here's your clutch cover, because they would run a actual manual clutch, Linko transmission style. There's the scatter shield there, and here is your cylinder heads and exhaust pipes, all molded together. Okay, different for sure. Your Hemi valve covers. Here another Hemi valve cover. This looks like the transfer case or the drop box. It looks a little out of proportion possibly, but maybe not. And here's the back side of that drop box that we glue onto there. Pedals and some other small parts that I'm not 100% sure what their purpose is. They really went overboard on the plastic. Oh, had another part out of that one. So here's your axles as well. Very detailed safety, what do they call them? Safety loops for the drive shaft, to contain a drive shaft if it were to break, because they're turning those things really high because of the planetary gear reduction. The drive shafts spin extremely fast. And they can cause damage if they were to come apart. But anyway, the axles, nicely detailed. I'm really impressed. Here's your steering cylinders for your front and rear axle. So your steering cylinder here hooks onto your, I don't know, the knuckle area back there, and then there's a tie rod that goes across, and it's got a push and pull system. It's got a cylinder on each side. So that's pretty cool. and the rear bumper. And one more bag to open as far as plastic parts. It's mainly chassis. It looks like chassis parts. Doesn't look like any. So here's more of your just your cross braces. This is probably what Tim Brown meant. You have to get all these things lined up one side to the other, and he says that can be a very much of a chore. And here's just some other chassis parts as well. The same here. Here is a, looks like maybe the lower portion of the cradle where the battery may sit or something like that. And again, that's 4-link. That's the top 4-link bars for the axles. So these would connect to the chassis. These would connect to the axle. And sway bar. Here's a sway bar right here. So you'd have a front and rear sway bar set up on this thing. I didn't see the other one. Maybe I'm looking at it right now and don't even realize it, but there's a sway bar. And the glass, I won't pop open, but oh wow, they did a great job. So on a monster truck, you have a plexiglass firewall, and I think that's in there, and you have a plexiglass rear rear window area. It's just a big plexiglass sheet, and they have that here, the big rear plexiglass sheet. It looks like you have your firewall, plexiglass firewall here, and then your windshield. Very nice. And it appears that at least the windshield goes in from the outside, just like a monster truck would. That plexiglass window would go on from the outside. And to my favorite part I've been waiting on the whole time, the tires. I have several Bigfoot kits. One of them that I had started, and wow, those are really nice. So the Hall brothers are sponsored by Firestone. Most all of your Bigfoot kits and things like that have, even though I'm looking at a Bigfoot kit now with the actual picture of the truck, it has Firestones. Bigfoot also is sponsored by Firestone. So the early Bigfoot trucks have the Goodyear 66-inch Goodyears, but in the late 80s, early 90s, Firestone began to sponsor Bigfoot, and they've always ran Firestones, and also they sponsor the Ramminator and Rammunition trucks. So this looks more like a Goodyear tire, but I don't know if they were trying to have a look that was different. It is definitely different from the Bigfoot tires, definitely. And if I could grab that kit really fast, let me show you something. Not that I want to get sidetracked, but this kit is right above my head, the one that I had started. So as a kid, I made I built several Bigfoot kits. Let me see if this is the one. I built several Bigfoot kits. Yeah, this is it. And I always wanted to make the tires look like they had been worn before, worn. More realistic to me. And I would take a little mini Dremel tool and I would grind the tires. So, okay, so here's a Bigfoot tire. I'm going to get totally off subject if I'm not careful. So this is your Bigfoot Terra tire, your Goodyear style Terra tire. I apologize if this isn't bright enough. It's hard for me to see the screen on the camera. But this is your Bigfoot Goodyear Terra tire, and here is your 1/25th scale, 1/24 scale too. I have to remember that. So you've got a substantial size difference here in the tire, but you see the difference in the tread pattern. The Rammunition, is it Rammunition or Raminator? What is this thing? The Rammunition tire has more of a rounded lug. The Goodyear has more of a squared off lug. This does pretty accurately represent a Goodyear tire, and this not so much. So I don't know if they were getting at trying to make it look like a Firestone. It doesn't look like a Firestone tire. Here we go. So I was going to show you what I did back probably going on 10 years ago with this kit, this Bigfoot kit. So the new tire looks like this, but that's not the way the tires look when they race them. Usually they cut the tires, they groove the tires, they're using a tire that they just like to take a lot of rubber off of them. So what I would do is I would take the tire and I would grind it down a pretty good way, actually. You just do it with your little Dremel tool and try to make it look like it's a tire that's been driven over, you know, raced, driven over cars. It's cut a lot of donuts. But that's more realistic as far as the way a monster truck tire would look. And if I did this Rammunition kit, I would want to do that. I wouldn't want to just slap a new set of tires on there because they just don't look like that. Granted, you can't have a new set of tires. Now they make race ready tires like BKT for the Monster Jam series. They're produced specifically for racing. So you would see a brand new set of tires on something that does not have any need to be shaved down or anything. But with the privateers like the Hall brothers with the Rammunition, Bigfoot and things like that, they're still relying on a lot of tire work to be done. But anyway, enough of that said. That totally had nothing to do with this Rammunition truck. Well, after looking at this, it looks like it does look like a really cool kit. Will I build it right now? Probably not, because it would take some amount of time to do this kit and do it right. Will I do it? Maybe so. One reason being, it probably would be a great kit to take to a show, just because there's not that many monster truck models at a show. I don't know if they have their own class or if it's just race vehicle or how they work that, but maybe if you have this truck and you want to, that may be an advantage, is you can build it and it's a you may have the only monster truck there. Hey, you won the class. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. I think this is a cool kit, and I'm glad I was able to open it up and check out the contents. So if you like this video, please go give it a thumbs up. I hope you do give my videos a thumbs up. It's very, very important, so they say, for us to get those likes on our videos. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. I would greatly appreciate that. Go to, let's see, what, go over to Hobby Nut Models. Mark supports my channel. He's a sponsor of mine. I appreciate Mark over at Hobby Nut Models. Go over there and check out Mark's inventory. You may run across one of these. Who knows what Mark's going to bring in? That's the cool thing about Hobby Nut Models. You never know what you're going to find over there. It's not all just the new kits. Mark goes and searches out and finds a lot of cool kits that have been off the shelf for a long time. So go over and check out Hobby Nut Models. Go over to our Facebook group. Join that if you would. Teespring. Thank you guys for you who support me on my Teespring store. If you haven't already gone over there, the link to all these things are in the description of this video. Go over there and check out my Teespring store. Grab yourself a t-shirt, a hoodie, a mug, a sticker. What else? I don't know. There's tons of stuff over there. Thanks to you guys who have supported me in that. And this video is over. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm not great at unboxing. I feel like I don't really have the ambition for an unboxing I'm not an unboxing channel, but one-armed. I'm trying to give you guys some content. But anyway, this is a cool kit. I'm excited to get going on it when I decide to do that, and it would look really, really cool. So you guys take care, and I will see you all on the next video. You all take care.